Well, this is pretty annoying. Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and it's been a little while since we have done a handheld quick little video update. By the way, you like my Garfield credit card display? There used to be a Garfield credit card. And yeah, I might have to make a video about that sometime to discuss the interesting history of that thing. But that's not what we're here to do today. We're here to talk about Mercari. And, well, you might have read the title. I have had my account limited from Mercari. This does not necessarily mean I am suspended. It does not mean I'm going to lose my store. But at the moment, I can't really do any business. I cannot list items. I cannot promote them. I cannot even respond to messages, but people can still send me messages and still like my stuff. So that last one's actually really important, as we're going to get to that why. But first of all, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel and you find videos like this helpful, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and like it and share, all that jazz. I'm assuming this video might be useful to some people. So this is a little bit of a follow-up video on the Mercari scammers that I talked about a few weeks ago, where I bought some Pokemon games. And I fully admit in that video, I was planning to buy the Pokemon games and flip them for a higher sale price. That's not illegal, and if they don't know what those games are worth, that's fine. But it turns out I didn't know what those games were worth, because after I had left a positive feedback, after I had gotten them, it was informed to me through other people, as well as Mercari themselves, by taking down one of the listings, that these games are in fact fraudulent. They were counterfeit items. Now, I reached out to the seller, which a lot of people from that last video seem to misunderstand this. We did reach out to the seller, and the seller did not respond to our email. So then we reached out to Mercari and say, hey, these items were counterfeit. We did not know that when we left positive feedback. We need our money back. And Mercari basically wanted it in writing that the items were counterfeit. Now, no one does that. And I think that's why Mercari was asking for it. Interestingly, Mercari would not accept their own documentation, like their own assessment that one of those items was fake. They wouldn't do it. So I did what anyone would do at the time. I filed a chargeback on my American Express. Now, in the last video, I mentioned that my wife had to do that with an item as well for another item that she bought. And she did not, by the way, leave feedback for that person, but the person ghosted her, did not respond, and Mercari was not helpful. So she did a chargeback as well. Now, with her outcome, on the day she filed the chargeback, her account was suspended and reinstated immediately as a one-time courtesy, and she was alerted that doing chargebacks was against the terms of service, which I have already expressed. I do not think that is a good policy. In fact, I don't even think it's entirely legal for companies to say you cannot do a chargeback, because chargebacks are consumer protections. And if you didn't have a chargeback, if a company could easily say you are not allowed to do a chargeback, there would be hell to pay. Every company in the world would make that part of their policy, because who wants to actually have to give people their money back if they are in the wrong? But anyway, I did not hear anything, so I thought maybe this wasn't going to go anywhere. Well, it turns out the shoe may have finally dropped. I did get an email this morning basically saying that my account was limited because they had been notified of an unauthorized purchase, and for security purposes, they need some more information. Now, I know exactly what this is about at this point, and if it is what I think it is, then American Express, who I did the chargeback with, they're not wording it properly. This was not an unauthorized purchase. This was an authorized purchase. The problem is the purchased item was not as described, and that's why I disputed it. And so I'm going to have to now contact Mercari and tell them that that's what happened, that American Express misspoke, and that I totally intended to make that purchase. The problem was that the purchase was not real. Now, if they say, well, that is against our policy, we don't allow that, I will, even though I don't really want to, even though I don't think I should have to do this, I will suck it up. I will apologize. I will say I did not know that. And I will not do a chargeback anymore for Mercari. Please give me a second chance on the platform. Now that means I will potentially be swallowing that loss. That $100 that I spent, I will have to pay, but you know what? It's probably worth it if I can continue to sell on the platform, because Mercari makes me somewhere between $300 to $700 a month, which is not nothing. That is a significant amount of money. Now, what's annoying about this is that I know it's not a full-blown suspension because my items are still up. And as mentioned, I'm getting likes still. I'm getting emails. Someone asks a question about an item. I can't respond to those emails. But most frustratingly, I sold someone an Apple Watch because I got a new one. And so I didn't need that old one anymore. And I sold it on Mercari, and they have a question for me. And they have gotten it, but they have a question. They say it works, but they have a question. And I cannot actually respond to them, which that's going to now put me in an awkward position, because what if this person escalates a situation in Mercari and it says this seller's ignoring me? Well, I'm not ignoring you. I would fully work with you if I could. Mercari's not letting me, but is that going to be considered like a 2 problems within 24 hours thing? So it's a very odd situation. Now, you might be asking, how do I feel about this situation? Well, obviously, I disagree with it. I very, very clearly disagree with it. Same time, I'm not as upset as I probably would be normally. And maybe that's just because I'm trying to have perspective. Maybe it's because I've gone through this song and dance before. If Mercari suspends this account, I know how to get another one. You know, if I can get back on Amazon, I can get back on Mercari. It's not impossible. But probably bigger picture, you know, I've mentioned it a few times, the war in Ukraine, because of what Russia is doing. And, you know, things like that have really chilled me on certain things. Like, it made me realize that there are real problems in the world, and my life could be so much worse. I could be living for fear of my life right now. I could have family members dying unjustly because some madman has illusions of grandeur or something like that. So, you know, I'm kind of trying to keep things in perspective. Things could be worse. And yeah, worst case scenario, I could lose a store, and I could lose that $700 on average I make a month there. And also the $200 I've got right now, I might not get that back. That's kind of the worst case scenario, and that would suck. That absolutely would suck. On the positive, I still have my ghost Amazon store. I still have my eBay store, which brings in well over $3,000 a month. And there are other platforms I can still get on that I have not tried yet. Usually when I get kicked off a platform, I discover 2 more. And then I start making money on those platforms. And I am privileged to be living right now in a country where freedom is still a thing, and I don't have to fear for my life. And so at the end of the day, if I have to miss out on a couple $100 and maybe have to get back on the account through the back door, you know, just happens sometimes. It really just happens sometimes. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's frustrating. I will keep you guys updated on where this goes. In the meantime, I'd like to know your thoughts on it. You can comment below, like, fair, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.